This is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local athletes to injured workers and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com, DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
You've waited, and now it's here. The unveiling of the latest Carroll House lifestyle collections. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy, inviting you to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services. Check them out at cancelthisshow.com. Kathy L. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. And welcome to Cancel This, everybody. Cancel This Show. Happy Friday, everybody. March 3rd, here we go. Getting you set for the weekend, as we always do. Thanks for jumping in for CancelThisShow.com. I'm Vic Faust, Tap of the Hassle. Eric Johnson on his way back in. Scotty Gherkin in studio again today. Back from he went to get healthy in Florida, got more sick, and now he has flown back. So
Poor
anyway,
thing.
He's in studio as well, running the boards, running the music, as he always does. We've got a big show for you, as we always do. Remember, CancelThisShow.com, 8 to 10, Monday through Friday Central Time, based out of the St. Louis, Missouri area, but we go national with our national headlines of news interviews of all kinds, politics, society, and, of course, cancel culture interviews. Special thanks again to Kyle Rittenhouse, who joined us yesterday. Had so much feedback on Kyle's interview yesterday, all throughout the day, the night, and this morning as well. We appreciate everybody jumping in, giving us an idea of what they love to see, the kind of interviews you want. And, of course, continue to message us and let us know everything that's going on in your neck of the woods. It's a free-for-all, paranormal, conspiracy theory kind of Friday with news, headlines as well. There's a lot going on. It just, some days, less than the others. Today's there's so much talk that's going on.
And you know what? And Vic, it's going to continue. First of all, I love Fridays. I love being able to talk about things outside of the norm. But I'm telling you what, the way things are going right now, I think every Friday is going to be a deeper dive than the Friday before. I mean, how can you explain all of the things going on right now?
Well, we've got Scotty. Say hi. Scotty's coming in, taking care of the camera. Scotty's back with a tan, which is great. I love having him here. So we obviously see him. Anyway, next Friday as well, Troy Taylor, a ghost tour expert.
I can't wait.
Out of the St. Louis, Missouri area. He's an established author, tons of books, known around the country and the world for his expertise when it comes to ghost tours, taking people on tours,
particularly
what to expect.
Yeah, in Alton, he's done a lot of tours in Alton. Other areas, of course, as well. Alton is so fascinating to me, Alton, Illinois.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Alton
I
is
know, I've
supposed to
heard.
be, it's supposed to be the most haunted town in the entire country.
Oh, wonderful. Great. Love it. Everything that's rocking and rolling there. So that's next Friday. We'll have that coming up as well. A lot of topics to get to today. Murdaugh found guilty yesterday.
Surprised?
2 dead bodies, family members, wife, son, sentencing this morning. If we get that, of course, we'll go ahead and pass that along.
Such a big case.
Yeah, he'll get life. In South
No question
Carolina,
about it.
you can, there's
No
no
question.
30 or
No.
whatever.
He will never see the light of day.
It just goes to show. I mean, just because you have it all, or what appears to be you have it all from a financial standpoint, worldly success, you don't always have everything. We'll get into that once we hear what's going on with the verdict, what's happening with everything from that standpoint. Also coming up today, we've got an interview at 9:30. Missouri State Senator Ben Brown joining us today. He's taken up a call to arms, so to speak, for a family in St. Charles County, Missouri. Their 12-year-old son has been told he can't wrestle in the Missouri State tournament. He is an incredible wrestler, all because a parent volunteer signed him up for the wrong weight class. Now, in the wrestling communities, it's a big deal. On the surface, it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal. The parents were told, you didn't do anything wrong. Your kid didn't do anything wrong, but we're not going to let you wrestle. It's become a Midwest story now for all wrestling families. I talked to a couple high school coaches yesterday, and they were like, yeah, it's interesting.
If that's a rule, it's a dumb rule. And guess what? Rules can be changed, can't they? It's not set in stone by the Constitution, is it?
No, but we'll get into that. The dad of the 12-year-old boy who's he'll join us, and Missouri State Senator Ben Brown, another state senator also getting in on the mix when it comes to that whole situation
as they
well.
should.
I can already tell that you've already made your decision up.
Can you?
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, it's a free-for-all paranormal conspiracy theory Friday as well. Tabitha, you've been talking for a few days. Congressional hearing still going on regarding UAPs. What has got your attention so far?
Vic, I know people think I'm nuts. I'm sure of it. But I'm telling you, and that's okay, because in the end, I know I'm going to be right. But I'm telling you, things are going on. Things are happening. We've been waiting for these congressional hearings over the UAP investigation forever. Now we're finally starting to see some results. People are testifying, various pilots coming forward who are demanding that they finally get their stories heard. And you have 11 incidents since 2004 in which pilots are saying...
How many incidents?
11 incidents since 2004, it's 2004 through 2017, which is when this portion of the study had ended, in which pilots were coming forward saying and testifying now, saying that they came across these objects, they saw them on their radar, and according to their and now their radar was updated, by the way, in 2004 when this all began. And when when their radar on their planes were updated, then all of a sudden they could see these objects. And they said these objects defy anything they've ever seen. They said they can travel at speeds up to Mach 5.
Okay,
they can hover in the air.
Scary.
And they said that it's not random. They said they're everywhere. And the problem is that they said they're not being acknowledged. They're not allowed to tell their story, but yet these objects, they said, are all over our skies. And so part of the testimony was that whatever these objects are, they mess with the radar at times of their fighter jets. They mess with their instrument panel. They don't know what they are. They said sometimes they hover in a complete stillness with seemingly no propulsion system. Other times they take off up to Mach 5 speeds. And again, they can see them. They can take photos of them. No one will let them tell their story. And according to a couple of these guys who testified,
won't let them? Okay, I'm sorry.
The government will not let them tell their story. Up until now, up until these hearings, they were always told, because, when you're a member of the military, you do not have First Amendment rights. You don't have the right to freedom of speech. you're not allowed to tell your story without being dishonorably discharged. So finally, these hearings are allowing these pilots to tell their story and to explain what they're seeing. And like they said, these are not balloons. They are absolutely not balloons. They don't know what they are. And it's really compelling to see their testimony because you can tell that these guys have been waiting years to finally get the story out. It really is. You have to, and you can see the video. You can go back and look at the testimonies and read the testimonies. It is absolutely mind-boggling. And you know what else they testified to? They said this is not anything the United States is working on, that they can't imagine that any country has this technology.
I'm curious. Is there any thought in your mind it could be American military advancement?
They said
pilots are not told about.
I've thought about that. I'm sure everyone thinks about that. I really don't think so. I really do not think so. Because I think for us to think that, as easy as that would be of an explanation, we're always looking for a good scientific explanation. And to most things, there are really good scientific explanations. But I think in this particular instance, it would be so small-minded of us to think that we are alone in the world. I mean, look how big the universe is. Every time we turn around, they're discovering new galaxies. It's endless. It's infinite. How can we believe we're the only people here? We're the tiniest little blip of dust in the universe. Isn't that a crazy thought? But we are. Unless you believe the Earth is flat, then you might believe something different.
Well, the Earth is flat, right? It is a little flat, right? Well, I mean, but I just think this is all for show, Tabitha.
I don't think so.
What comes out? Tabitha? What comes out of this? What really comes out of this?
Well, as of right now, I mean, in the future, I don't know. Maybe finally eventually, Vic, their government is going to have to admit that something is going on because you know what? They can't hide it any longer. We have Canada who just started a new program.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And so, Canada is reporting there are so many UFOs people are seeing across the country, they can no longer ignore it. Here in the United States, it is shocking to me how many people I know personally who have recently seen some type of object that cannot be described. And I sent you guys a couple of photos, and at some point we can have Scotty pop those up. But people I know are seeing things. People you know are probably seeing things.
But the photos that you have, the photos that you sent Scotty, what are these photos of? And Scotty will pop them up when he gets to it.
On one of them is the one you can see the clearest. And this is someone I know who saw this UFO. And I'm calling it a UFO just because we don't know what it is. And the way he described it to me is that he was on an airplane, he was flying, and he was over Utah at this point, and he looked out the window and saw this thing. I mean, it's hard to describe it. He took a photo of it, but it was a little bit further away. And he said it kind of looked like a spherical type object. It was solid black, but yet he said it kind of looked like string. It was really weird. He said he couldn't even describe it. The words didn't even describe it. But he said it didn't appear to be moving. It was just kind of hovering there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the photo of it, it just looks like a black line in a way. And once we do pop the photo up, there is an area on there that looks like a blue line, and that was just one of his drawings because the photo was blown up. Originally, it was circled, but you can barely see it. But there is definitely something there, and so he called MUFON. Is it called MUFON? Yeah, MUFON.
MUFON.
I'd never report it.
I'd never heard of MUFON until you sent me that information.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal. MUFON that's where if you see something you cannot describe, you call MUFON and report it. And they keep track of all potential UFO sightings. So he called MUFON and he was told that that's not something they normally see. It doesn't look like something that's normally sent in. And here's the craziest part.
But who sent the pictures in?
A friend of mine that I know directly sent the photos in.
Okay, you didn't say that,
did you?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And he sent the photos into MUFON. MUFON told him, this is what's so wild. They told him, it doesn't look like anything we've ever seen. He fully expected them to be like, oh yeah, we see that all the time. People are always sending that in. Nope. They said that, this guy from MUFON told him that people are seeing what they think are black holes, portals. And he said that could be what this was a portal, which to me sounds absolutely batty crazy, doesn't it? I mean, it does.
Yes, and no.
It does. It sounds batty crazy, but at the same time, we know black holes exist in space. It just seems like something weird is going on, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, we know something weird is going on. We continue to get more information that's released to us, but at the same point in time, I still don't think we're ever going to be given a total answer ever, or anytime recently.
I don't think they're going to have a choice soon because we're
we
waking
will never
up.
know.
People are starting to look up into the sky. People are starting to take notice, and people are seeing these strange phenomena. And as they see these strange phenomena, and this is not the photo my friend sent in, but this is one I was comparing it to because someone said that that's a portal. This is the one my friend sent it.
Okay, cool. I didn't know which one you needed on which side.
Oh, no, it's okay. I sent them both to compare.
Sorry, I was dealing with some technical stuff.
It's okay. I wanted to see both of them.
You're going to want to go back to Florida in a second, I think. What the hell is that?
I know
that looks like lightning or like just a dark cloud.
No, not
shadow.
this. So the blue line is where he originally had it circled, and it's just blown up. So the blue, what looks like a blue line to us, and there are other photos. It's just harder to see because it's further back in the background. This was not anywhere near his window. This is a blown up photo. This was further away, and whatever this was just hovering in the air over Utah. It wasn't moving.
You could see where maybe that's a side view of this next one.
That's what I was wondering. And that's
what I mean? Like you're seeing the side of it instead of the center of it where you're seeing the circle.
Exactly. And that's why I sent you this photo also, because I thought, well, maybe that's the same thing, but a side view of it. He didn't really think so, but he saw it from an angle where he said really far away. It might look like
bizarre,
like a ship or something. But it is bizarre, isn't it? It's like, what is this?
Well, what's the light over here
That's
on
not
the left? Is that a building or what is that? You see
on
that
this photo?
Yeah, you see that?
This photo I just found on the internet. I have no idea.
See those lights to the left?
It does look like a building.
That's strange.
It's all strange.
Is that windows or is that like the side of a UFO?
It looks like the mothership, whatever it is.
The mother load.
It's probably a building. But this is the one my friend sent. And I don't
know what to think about that unless it's like a side view of that other one. But that doesn't.
No, and he didn't really think that it was something like that. But he does. I mean, when you see something like, how in the world would you know? How would you think of it?
I have no idea.
But he saw it completely suspended in air. I mean, he's on a commercial flight over Utah.
Terminator. That's the access hole
camera
for the Terminator.
Reflection from the comment line.
The photo he took was definitely not a camera reflection.
It could be an eyelash in his camera lens.
No, because he saw it out the window. He actually has a full video of it, as well as several other photos. And in some of the other photos, you can tell that it's really far away. But on our screen, it would be very difficult to see. I can post them on my personal Facebook page later. But I'll tell you what, yesterday I went online.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you, I know that's scary when that happens. And I did a search for what are people seeing in the sky. And my search came back with some very strange results.
My God. Wait a minute. Are these your followers?
Strange results.
Wait,
no. These were
Superman.
Just random images. I went and looked. And has anyone seen the metal spheres that people keep finding?
Oh my God. I've never heard of a metal sphere.
Well, I didn't. And Scotty, I didn't send you the photos of those. But there's like these metal spheres that they're showing. They're coming down like asteroids. But when people go and find them, it looks like a man-made object. It looked like it was welded around the middle.
Did you provide a pic?
It's Frisbee golf gone wild.
I didn't send them to Scotty, but I do have a ton of photos. But they're finding them all over the world. And I'm like, what are these things?
There's weird times. Most definitely.
Very
there are
weird times. So what in the world is going on?
Well, it seems like every year as time goes on, things get a little bit more weird. Things get a little bit more strange. Is it technology? Is it not technology? Those are in the sky.
Yeah, I'm going to send these to Scotty.
Send that to Scotty.
And these are being found all over the world. They're metal spheres. They look man-made. I mean, they're not meteorites. I have no idea what these things are.
So you're sending them to me over here?
I am going to send these to you.
Metal spheres. As she's sending it, it is our Paranormal Friday, free for all, conspiracy theory. We bounce around. We have fun. We do interviews. We do news, everything kind of on your grab bag hodgepodge Friday. But that's why we're getting into some of these topics right now. I have no idea what Tabitha's sending. It looks like it was something that was pulled out of some industrial junkyard.
It does. And it's so strange to me.
And you're telling me these things are flying around the skies.
That's what we're being told. I don't know what. I'm sure most of our listeners have seen these.
It's a smoke ring from East Palestine.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I saw that as well.
Are you seeing your chats now?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you okay?
No, I'm having to
Gotcha.
go to my phone. Unfortunately,
Okay, gotcha.
Scotty.
I apologize.
No, we'll figure that out.
I have no idea what these things are. I really have no idea.
Well, after we take a look at the spears that are, I guess,
What
I just
the
emailed
hell?
and it's so and then I just sent you a couple photos. I have like 15 photos because they're being found all over the world.
I'm more
dropping out of the sky. I'm like, I mean, but I'm trying to think of a reasonable explanation. Are they part of a satellite system? Are they part of a space station?
We're gonna call this shot the Three Amigos.
Okay, here it is, Scotty. I see. Okay, and Tabitha, you allege that these are just dropping out of the sky.
Yes, you can look them up online. That's what they're saying.
Could that be part of a satellite? I don't know.
That's
It looks
what
pretty.
I'm thinking. There must be a reasonable explanation.
It looks pretty non-functional. Like,
That
it
is
just looks like a dome.
But why? But why are they? Where are they coming from? And why is it happening now?
Looks like a
all at the
Mandalorian
same
helmet.
time?
It does look like a Mandalorian helmet.
We're being invaded by Star Wars.
I know. It's
okay.
so weird.
Scotty, we're working this morning. I'm more concerned with motionless birds.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's weird too.
I sent you that.
I got that.
This is freaky to me. Okay.
It's a dead bird in British Columbia. The story. Do you know the backstory behind the bird?
Whoa.
Is there a video
bird?
It's
of
dead.
this?
There is a video of it as well.
If you find the video, Scott, you can show it. We'll talk over this for a second.
Okay.
Tabitha, I did not know the bird was dead in the air.
The bird is dead, and he was there for quite some time.
It's a he?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to be sexist.
It's a they.
I figured since his legs were spread
you
open,
win.
I would call him he. So some folks were driving by, and they saw this when they were driving, and they stopped and made a video of this bird suspended in the air. And other people noticed it, and they also stopped and were taking photos and video. It's become a worldwide story. It's the strangest thing ever, but this bird is suspended there. It's dead.
Time out.
Now, is it suspended by fishing
No,
line?
no
is
way.
it hooked to this this post in some way?
No, Tabitha.
Yes.
There's no way in hell this bird is dead.
It is dead.
Okay.
You can watch the video.
The bird. So
it's there. I mean, you can see the video and all the people standing
so
around.
do birds give off some sort of gas? Do they emit
it's
some
going to
sort
make
of
it float
gas
in
that
air
makes
by
it
itself?
float in the air when it's dead?
And not only that, but it didn't move. You know what? I was trying to think of a reasonable explanation. The only thing I could come up with is maybe it's tangled up in fishing line that's stuck somewhere between some trees and that line.
That would okay. It's a free for all paranormal conspiracy theory Friday. We're just putting it out there. We're showing you lots of videos, lots of pictures this morning to take a look at it. And Scotty, did you find the video?
Yeah, I got it now. There was a bunch of ads before it started.
I feel like there has to be a reasonable explanation.
I've never seen a motionless bird that's allegedly dead just floating in the air.
Let's see.
It looks like a blackbird, but it's not moving.
That's a dead bird, and it's just floating in the air. No strings, no nothing.
He's not the only one who saw it.
That's freaking weird, man. Isn't it? Yeah, like there's someone else taking a picture.
It's a mystery, leaving many people puzzled and questioning, what could it be?
This has to be like a wire. It can't. There's no way something that can just be floating in midair.
Speaking of wires, could this be an Erev?
Erev is a boundary that goes around a community. The Jewish people are obligated to keep Sabbath. So this boundary makes the area into a semi-private domain.
This can be done by using a piece of string.
And we'll often put on orange flagging to make sure it's visible.
A rabbi at an Orthodox synagogue confirms with Glacier Media that there are no Erevs in Surrey.
The string there was much higher than we would use. Our strings are usually 10 to 20 feet off the ground. This exceeded 20 feet, going over the top of a very tall tree.
I don't see a string.
The city of Surrey did not get any reports of this bird. Environment and Climate Change Canada does not have any input on crows. The Ministry of Agriculture and Food cannot give a diagnosis without examining the bird. And BC Hydro says power lines would not cause something like this.
Man, there ain't no string there.
Let's have some fun with it. Maybe it is in the matrix.
There is one person who studies the unknown. Meet Paul Kingsbury. He researches paranormal activity.
That's the beauty of these paranormal events, that you can't rule out anything if you can't prove something is purely empirical. If I was a betting person, I would say it's some kind of fishing line.
And
so, not a glitch.
I guess I'm going on a sort of debunking path in terms of, well, it must be a wire rather than a glitch in the fabric of reality.
For now, our imaginations will continue to soar. Or maybe there's someone out there pranking us all.
Okay, that's interesting from that standpoint. This is cancelthisshow.com. Scotty's here. Eric
That
Johnson,
close-up didn't
Tabitha
show a
Hassel, and
string.
Vic Faust.
It didn't look like a string to me, and trust me, I looked.
But
and
are you
looked and
supposed to see a clear line? Didn't they kind of say that in the beginning?
You would never see a fishing wire.
You don't think?
No.
You can see a fishing line when you cast into the pond. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe if it was a really
I
thin
would
one.
if it was
A
not
glare.
like it looked like it was just kind of the wind was pushing it around. Did you see that?
Yes.
If it was laying there completely still and the wind had no effect on it, then I would go, okay, it's a glitch in the matrix. I'd be like, okay, something's going on here. Unfortunately, the thing is kind of going back and forth with the wind.
It had a little bit of movement.
I don't know if Alex from our chat line was joking or not, but he said electric power line causing it to levitate from the static.
I thought about that too.
No.
Like the
I
static
thought about that
electricity.
also.
No.
I'm with Eric on that. I don't know.
Sometimes the most logical explanation is the real explanation. It was a fishing line or some kind of a small wire that the human eye couldn't see.
At least the reporter did her research and did a really good job and got a paranormal expert to talk about any of that. But nonetheless, it's fascinating to see, especially on a Friday, especially following UFOs and circular metal spheres that allegedly
And that was
are
a satellite part, by the way. There's like 7,000 satellites.
Then why are they all falling down at once?
I think it's Grogu's little thing that he floats around with next to the Mandalorian.
And it crash landed.
There's a baby Yoda in there somewhere.
I have a bazillion.
Don't tell John Crazy that, please.
I have a dozen photos of these things, all different, all landing
Smart you are,
in different parts of the world.
That is some kind of a nav device right there. That was
what device?
It was that thing right there. It looks like the thing on the end of an
Look
airplane.
Look at it again. Look at it again. There's nothing mechanical in that at all.
No.
It doesn't have to be. It
But
look.
why are they
inside of it
That's
was
not the question, though. Why are they falling all over the world now and not before?
That could be you know what that could be, and if Kevin was here, he might agree with me. There's on airplanes, fighter jets, they have these nozzles.
Oh yeah,
that basically house their nav systems, their navigation. It's like a radar cover almost,
like those mobile RV DirecTV
Yeah.
things. They're like a dome over the top.
That's
and
right.
Just move
Right. It's like a turret system, and it turns around and it flip flops. It could have been something like
It
that.
just doesn't look mechanical to me at all, so it doesn't make sense.
None of it makes sense to
JD
me.
says gas tank.
Yeah,
It kind of looks like a propane tank.
Yeah,
it could have blown up out of East Palestine and fell there.
There is
There you go.
That's what caused the ring in the sky. See, we're putting this all together.
Look at this.
And the bird just said, "Holy shit!"
It
just
scared
froze.
the crap out of him in midair. And there's
All right, we've solved it. Moving on.
Come on. Why can't we do this in politics?
There's a video of one of these falling from the sky.
We just pissed off
And
Kevin.
then no,
No, this is good fodder. We need this.
I think there is a reasonable explanation for it. I'm just assuming because it doesn't look like any. It's definitely not a UFO.
No, it's not.
Holy cow!
You
All right,
know,
so
it
Tab
is
just
odd.
sent me like 19,000 pictures.
I did, and you know
The pictures of what?
All the UFOs I looked up last night that people are posting.
Okay, but are these from Canada? Because the fact that Canada,
they're from all over the world.
the fact that Canada is now putting together an investigation into UFOs, kind of following the United States lead.
Yeah, well, of course.
Well, I think people tend to see the same types of UFOs, but somebody
because they've had so many sightings, Eric.
I guess so.
You have to. I always do this. You have to go back to Roswell. You either believe Roswell happened or it didn't. Do you believe Roswell happened, or was it a weather balloon? Which one was it?
If I'm on the record,
yeah,
something more than a weather balloon.
I kind of agree with that. What about you?
Oh, I've been well. Obviously, my answer is obvious.
Mine's not obvious. I have no idea. But if you believe in Roswell, check this out. the United States has definitely told every major country around the world, we have something here. If you want to come see it, book a time and we'll show it to you. So if Canada is doing investigations into these flying objects, it's a ruse. It means that they're going and putting a public face on to say, oh, yeah, we see all these videos that you guys are taking pictures of. I guess we'll do an investigation. Yeah, we'll do an investigation. So it makes it look like the government is with you, like you're not crazy. But if Roswell really happened, then this debate was over 70 years ago.
I think Roswell has probably happened many times. That just happens to be one of the incidents we hear about. But to me, it just I'm so confused. It's like my mind is so boggled. I posted all these a few photos last night on my Facebook page, and then somebody messaged me, and they said, "Hey," and this sounds like the craziest story on the planet. You guys are like, look at me. Like this person's nuts. And maybe they are. I don't think they are.
You're just now realizing.
Hey, now.
I
didn't say that I'm nuts. I said
I got to catch up. I've been gone for a little while.
I've never seen a UFO. I've never seen anything.
I know, me neither.
I downloaded all these pictures you sent me. So we can go through them one by one if you want.
And the very last one is the one I'm speaking of. Somebody messaged me and they said, I know this sounds crazy, but they said, me and my wife, we see a propane tank flying over our farm regularly. And they're like, we've taken a couple of photos of it. And they're like,
tell them to send the pics.
I have them. They're here. They're on this line.
Is this the propane tank?
That's the one. And he said they took that photo out of his backyard. He said it flies over his house very quickly.
That doesn't look like a propane tank. I don't even know what that looks like.
I think it looks like a propane tank.
Wait a second. Where are these photos taken from?
That one's here in Missouri. And he's like, no, me and my wife, we see this propane tank fly past our house, here
so it
and
has
there.
to be in the country somewhere.
Yeah, in the country.
Maybe they have like a strongman neighbor that throws them up in the air all the time.
Why is it that we have?
But I mean, is it really a propane tank or a UFO that looks like a propane tank?
What it is why is the Android phone system and the iPhone system with the best cameras on the planet still take pictures that look like that?
Because it's really high up in the sky.
Bigfoot's on that thing.
And it's moving really fast.
Why can't a jealous wife take a picture of a stadium and find her husband in it? I'm just going to take a picture and say, I'll find him in this crowd eventually.
Right, let's go to the next one.
But when you look
here.
at these,
let's see the next one.
Strange looking.
Okay, so that's a fighter jet. It looks like.
It's a fighter jet.
And the little dot is the UFO. Now, this is one of the ones that was in the congressional hearings.
I can't believe you can see that, Tabitha, with your eyesight because I'm even struggling.
It looks like he's got a fly on his windshield.
It's a little dot.
Yeah, that looks like dirt. That looks like dirt on the windshield.
This is fine.
Okay, there's a close.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
That looks like something of the.
It looks like a stink bug.
That's a common sight.
It's
exactly what it looks like.
It's a jet-powered stink bug.
No, I saw that one at Independence Day. I did. I saw something that looked like that.
Apparently, our closed captioning is covering a lot of the UFOs. And
okay, what is this? This looks like a jellyfish without the tentacles.
I believe this was also part of the congressional hearing.
That kind of looks like a white, like the yin and yang.
It's a portal.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what it is.
Portal.
It could be that.
What, a portal that just opened in the sky?
Maybe.
What's this?
That to me looks like a mannequin. Like, why is a mannequin floating through the sky?
Or a thumbtack.
Yeah, it does look like an X-ray of a thumbtack.
And these are images taken by the fighter pilots?
No, not all of them. No, some of them are just random things people posted online. That kind of to me looks like the same propane tank, but it's from a different person.
Okay.
That looks like part of the satellite that's falling.
Yeah, like the wing. The wing.
Interesting.
That looks like an explosion.
I thought it looked like an Avenger, but maybe an explosion.
See, that's what I'm talking about. There's nothing definitive about it.
Looks like Omicron.
It does.
It does.
It looks like Omicron.
That's the first thing I thought when I saw that.
See?
Is there another picture too?
Oh, there's more.
That looks like her smudge from.
It does look like a
Tabitha's
smudge.
Yeah, pass.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there we go.
That's also a common sight. They call it the black blob.
Are you sure this looks like a shot from a microscope?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Single cell protozoa.
Well, I blew some of these up so that you could actually see them.
Mitochondria.
That's the Avenger again.
Yeah, no, it's
the same
UFO.
one. And then this one's pretty interesting.
And that was seen over California.
That is Sputnik.
That's exactly.
Come on,
that
man.
one seems like it has a more reasonable
That is
explanation.
Russian. It is a Russian satellite.
There's
from
people
1921.
There's people inside of there.
Yeah.
Oh, and I hope we land soon.
We've been up here 100 years.
I want some beef jerky.
No, that's interesting.
That's a strange looking one.
No,
I don't know
that
what
is.
that is.
No, that's very strange.
But I think
It
even
doesn't
though
look like it would fly.
It doesn't
It
seem like
doesn't
it could
fly.
fly.
It hovers in orbit. That's what those do.
But you wouldn't get a picture that clear if it was in orbit
Unless
you were
it was
using the telescope.
This is the thing crashing that looked like the mandolin
It
helmet.
does kind of look
It has
like
a
that, but
couple
it has
pieces.
little cutouts across it.
Okay. Hey, Scott,
Well,
as we
so far,
continue
nothing
to check
conclusive.
that out, as we continue on with this paranormal free-for-all Conspiracy Friday, Scott, when you get a chance, can you load the Simpsons video that I sent in today?
I wasn't ready for this today.
Did you see what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, I've seen them all, but which one
Okay.
is this one?
Okay, I
the
hadn't s-
TikTok thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not coming through. It's showing as an X, so it won't load.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
I
That's
will.
the government.
I
dog.
will. I will
Sorry, I meant to tell you that, but we were dealing with the.
Oh damn!
cameras, so-
Yeah. Anyway.
So just send it to me. I'll get it up when you get it.
Yeah, we'll get it to you. I appreciate Tabitha you sending that stuff in.
Well, I think
That's
I
good
think it's
stuff.
interesting, but I wanted to show people what people are reporting that they're seeing. But
Are
we
these?
also
Are those the pictures that the Congress was looking at
a
during?
couple of them were,
Okay.
but the majority were just random photos that I found online because I was curious last night since I knew we were going to be talking about this. What is it that people are seeing? But think about this: the majority of people who see something don't take a photo of it. It
Mm-hmm.
happens so fast. Someone just told me of a story that was right here in St. Louis where they saw a UFO and it was right above them. By the time they looked at it and realized what it was or that it wasn't something normal, they said it took off so fast. It was just out of sight in a second.
One of the most compelling things you can listen to are the police chasing.
That happened in Illinois.
UFO
I've
in
heard those
Belleville,
stories. What-
Belleville, Illinois.
I
How long
remember
ago
when that
was that?
happened.
It was in the 70s or 80s.
No, that was like that was probably in the 2000s.
Was it?
Yep. I remember when it happened
Okay, go listen to that.
because I didn't live here back in the 70s.
The audio
and
is there.
80s.
You have all these cops, calling into dispatch, and they're following this thing around, and it's multiple cops, and that's where you get interesting. Is when you have multiple sightings of the same thing. It's like
And
when
it was a big black square.
It's like if I say, "Hey, I can see the moon in the sky," and Tabitha calls me and goes, "Yeah, I see the same moon." Then it verifies that they're both seeing something, and that. But yeah, go check it out. Belleville Police. I think it's the Belleville, Illinois Police.
Yeah, I think I've
Department.
heard of this too.
And it went through several different municipalities. I think it might have been Belleville.
Yes.
And I think
Yep.
Scott Air Force Base got involved.
Yep.
But
Yeah, but Scott,
it's over a military base.
Okay, I did get it, so I got it.
Okay. As we continue on with stuff that's interesting to see from our paranormal, unexplained conspiracy theory Friday, we all know what the Simpsons have done over the past 20 years, 30 years? They just predict all kinds of things. Well, this one got me. Listen to the date. I don't remember an episode where Donald Trump's death was predicted. That's right. I just said Donald Trump's death predicted.
Yep, we know what's happening next.
No, in this Simpsons, and I think they say it's an episode that's coming up in March. Correct me on the chat line if I'm wrong, but I tried to do research on this. But just check out this Simpsons episode on Donald Trump.
Donald Trump for March 13th, 2023.
Bart, should I shut the door? No need. Check it out. Last night he stayed up till 10:45. Oh my God! I took a picture so I could show everybody. 10:45. 10:45. Now let me show you what I've been planning. Welcome to our celebration of our city's lame-o sign. You nailed them. Fi? Yeah, look it up.
Today I am officially declaring a national emergency.
I hereby declare a state of emergency. Code Black.
Fi? Yeah, look it up. Used to express disgust or outrage. Oh, that's the worst F word there is.
We come here today to honor this sign, which was purchased letter by letter from other failed towns.
I'm growing a conscience. I gotta change this prank. Much better.
Call the newspaper. Tell them someone has solved it. Our iconic sign is a quiver. Everyone remain calm. This is part of the show. Part of the show. VIPs follow me. Much better. Better to die a VIP than to live as an ordinary American citizen. Can't be the first one to lose my breath. Can't be the first one to fall. Who's an old man now?
They said March 13th. Was that 2023? Simpsons?
When did that air?
No,
It's
March
coming up.
13th.
Well, I know,
It's
but I
not
mean
March 13th yet.
Well, I understand that. I'm talking about when was this created? The
Who
Simpsons deal.
knows? It hasn't aired yet.
It doesn't matter. The point is they are. They
Or
have
what?
a portal that
What is your
shows-
point? Why do you ask that question?
Well, because we've seen really old episodes of The Simpsons long before Donald Trump was ever president that portrayed a lot of things that ended up coming true.
Okay, so
I was curious. I have never watched The Simpsons before, so I have no idea when this was
it
created.
caught my attention because of all the predictions,
Right,
of
exactly.
The Simpsons
So
and coming true.
Exactly. And this one that we just watched was so complicated. And the Simpsons aren't a complicated cartoon.
Nope.
They are they hit between the lines. And this is like you're trying to figure out what phi is and what all this stuff is. And somehow it makes sense because they're kind of skirting the people, and you got Donald Trump in there, and they've predicted stuff in the past, and now they've just predicted his death. And now it makes you kind of sit up and take notice a little bit.
It could be fake. Aaron says March 13th, a Monday, Simpsons or Sunday. I don't know. Or maybe it happens on a Monday.
Guess we'll all find out.
So the point is that for years, they predicted things that we didn't know they were predicting. And then somebody on TikTok went back
Right,
and started
and put it all together.
putting it all together. And you're like, what the hell? And so it makes you feel like the writers over there can walk through a time portal and see, like, walk into 2023 and go, oh my God, this place is insane. We got to write an episode about it.
Maybe they
But
are.
the other thing, somebody said from our chat line, it's AI. Bart didn't even look real. Could it be AI that's doing that?
Maybe.
We've talked a lot about AI on the show and what AI can do. I mean, Tabitha sent me an AI site called PimEyes, PIMEYES, PimEyes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are kind of things you put in a picture of anyone, and Eric, it goes back and finds every picture that's ever been posted on the internet of you.
What?
I tested it myself.
I
last
tested
night.
it. I tested it on myself.
Did it work?
Yes.
Yes.
How many pictures were
look like you.
What? Wait a minute. What does it do?
It's
Oh, this
PimEyes.
is creeped out.
PIMEYES, PimEyes. You put a picture of Scotty Gherkin in there, and then you go through the site, and it'll pop up tons of pictures on you from the years.
What?
That have been put on the internet.
I don't
test
even
it out?
want to see that.
Can you test it out? You'll get a billion because you're a rock
Yeah,
star.
but there's some of them that I don't want you to see. I ain't putting my face in there.
This is no, you don't have to put your face. You have to. Is it?
It says you have to upload.
Yeah, you have to upload a
image.
photo of yourself, and then it's like a reverse image search.
Yes.
Well,
But it's supposed to be the most comprehensive
Well,
image
that's
search.
weird.
I mean, so
because-
that just shows you all the technology that we have now that's coming out, that we talk about all these things. It's a reverse image search. It uses facial recognition technology to match every photo of a person that's ever been posted on the internet.
Think of the scary factor here, Eric. You could be at a show or you could be shopping and somebody say, hey, he looks like somebody I want to know. Or it could be somebody that stalks you and they take a photo of you.
Yeah.
They go home, they load their photo into this PimEyes program. And guess what? Now they know your name, your address, and everything
So
about
your
you.
ID just became your face.
They know everything about you.
Can't you do that with Google too? Like I just Googled.
Yeah, there
it
are.
and-
There are Google. I've tried all of those reverse image searches, and none of them are really that good. This one is really good.
Well, there's
It
some
found
random
photos-
pictures that just came up when I just did a Google search of my name.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Like
but this
people
is
that are
AI.
even
Scotty,
related.
this is AI.
But yeah, when we're talking about people who
And-
may not know your name, you're being. Let's say a woman's being stalked, and a guy takes a photo of her as she's coming, or the government takes a photo of you.
PimEyes.
And
PimEyes.
yeah,
PIM.
absolutely.
Check it out. It was like, oh yeah, those pictures. I forgot about those pictures. That's how I was looking at when I was going down the list of pics. It blew my mind. But PimEyes.
AI is going to be you think George Orwell's 1984 was that is a preschool book compared to what's coming. as far as AI goes and what access people have to you and the way they can intimidate you. I mean, this is going to be ugly. I'm telling you,
Eric.
I'm telling you, man.
I used I'm starting to get into the AI stuff, Eric. You sold me on it, and
scary
because you started talking about it a while back. I used it because I was trying to get a new logo for my LLC for Renew Media Group, and there's a site that does logos for you. So I went to it. It gave me like 500 different ideas.
Yep.
And some of them are incredible.
That's right.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You can
That's
get a
the
logo
creative
on
side.
AI for much cheaper.
That's the fluffy.
I was just
creative.
I was just trying it out going, wow.
That's nothing. Wait till it gets dark. Wait till AI understands that it's a thing and knows how to break into your computer late at night and take all the money out of your account. I'm telling you.
That's not even funny, but I could see that happening.
I'm serious. Elon Musk was a co-creator of ChatGPT.
He's all about AI.
Well, he is not.
Not anymore.
I thought he was.
He's
Now
like,
that he
this
sees what it's
is
capable
really
of.
dangerous. And he goes, he's going to start something. I don't know, to combat it or whatever, but he goes.
Yeah, he looked like he was launching a new AI system.
Yeah, it's supposed to be $1 trillion industry in like 5 years.
Okay, here's another part of the AI what blew my mind when Tabitha got me hooked on this when I started doing research on it yesterday. AI is now expected to be able to work through animal sounds and tell you exactly what they're trying to say. Let me repeat that.
What the
AI
hell? What the
is
hell?
now on the cusp, and in some cases doing this, able to say what animals are trying to say through analysis of sounds and actions.
How do they know?
Now, there's dog whisperers out there and the cat whisperers. We know you see them on television, of course. But AI now using sounds and actions to tell you exactly what they think.
Well, we'll talk about an animal the other day. There was an AI incident with Elizabeth Warren, who basically it was called deep fake. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
So someone made a deep fake saying and they made it look like and sound like Liz Warren was saying, if you're a Republican, don't vote. It was kind of, she was being Lori Lightfooted a little bit. And I think
edited, you mean?
Yeah. It
Like
was
but was it really her?
Like a deep fake. And so people were like, how could you say that? You're going against democracy. Well, it wasn't real. And so you're going to see these things. And if you're a gullible 16, 18, 20-year-old kid who doesn't understand about this deep fake crap or is just so impressionable, you're going to be able to make a deep fake of Obama saying something and rallying troops. You're going to be able to make a deep fake of Katy Perry saying something, and it will look real enough.
Yeah, we've talked about that many times.
Tabitha freaked
on
me
the
out
show.
more than anything when you said what was the Tom Cruise lookalike story?
That was the
again?
other deep fake. Whenever
That was another deep fake.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's one of the best deep fakes ever.
It is.
Ever.
And just think they can do that with anyone, anything. How can you ever trust anything you see ever again?
Yeah, you can't.
Ever.
Well, that's okay.
You
But
can't.
saying that, as a human, if you know that there are these deep fakes out there, doesn't it make you stand up and say, all right, I've had enough of this fake news. I need to do my due diligence. The problem is you have 350 million people in this country, of which a large percentage of them are gullible that believe everything, including you. You believe a lot of stuff.
I'm
like,
not far from, trust me, I am far from gullible.
That was the wrong word.
I know you didn't mean it that way, but
that was
yeah.
the wrong word.
You're talking about people who are gullible in that they see something and they
Yes.
believe it without doing the research.
And then people like me get in trouble for not believing everything that I hear. You see what I mean? I do. I will have conversations with a lot of people, and I go, that's bull crap. And they're like, oh, no, that's not bull crap. It's real. The earth is flat. My stepbrother is a great example of that. He thinks the world's flat.
World's flat.
But he can do a whole dissertation on the world is flat. But because I'm a pilot and I understand the curvature of the earth and I understand how things
Robert,
work.
where are you?
Yeah.
Robert, where are you?
So maybe this deep fake stuff, to bring it back full circle, it's a good thing. It makes people stand up and go, I have to literally check this source now. They have to even understand what a source is.
Right. Well, people should be doing that anyway on every topic all the time, but people don't have
But
time.
it's so difficult.
They don't have time.
But it's so difficult when you're just flipping through watching
and you don't know
TV
where to look all
or-
the time.
I'm telling you, those deep fakes, when I first glanced at the Tom Cruise one, I was like, oh, he looks a little bit younger, but man, look how much there. Wow, look what he's doing today. And seriously, Tabitha,
and he okayed that, which is why they were allowed to do it.
And it blew my freaking mind.
Me too.
What can happen?
Yeah.
Just all the CGI, all the green screens, all of the computer animation, all of the AI. We on a show, a month ago, we were talking about those party pics. Remember that? They had those party pics of some younger folks, and none of them were even real. There was no party. These were not real people, but they were photographs that looked like real people, but they're computer generated.
Wait a minute, which one was
people.
that? Which one was that?
They looked like Polaroids or something of some people at a party.
It was to show you what can be done
what
now.
it's capable
Like
of.
you could actually make it look like people are showing up to Joe Biden rallies if he goes to one.
Just like they did with Hillary.
Yeah.
But they're better at it
They
now.
need to do that at the CPAC this year. Nobody's at CPAC. None of the big names are there, so nobody's there.
If you are on Facebook right now and you have kids, I'd love for you to chime in on this because I only see the Facebook right here, but I know there's other ones. Do you know, and your kids between the ages of 8 and 20, are you cool with them taking ChatGPT and saying their homework assignment is do a report on Galileo and it needs to be done by next Tuesday, going to ChatGPT and saying, do a full essay about Galileo and his experiments with gravity or whatever, knowing that they'll probably get an A+ because ChatGPT can write an essay better than they would ever be able to do it.
It's a great topic. And some go ahead, Skip.
If an individual, if let's say 10 individuals did the same program for the same report, wouldn't it do the same report?
No. It'll change words here.
it's
It'll change words there. It'll
Really?
change.
Yes.
I'm totally for them doing that. It makes it easier.
It eliminates jobs, though.
Everybody would have a scholarship.
Great point, Tabitha. But that's the other. Schools
AI
are now
is taking over.
Schools are now talking about. There are schools that are talking about how to test kids. It's not implemented yet, but how to test kids without them being able to jump in and use a computer for AI, something off the chart. So that's like, okay, well, we're going to get you away from a computer here. We're going to teach you.
Right.
They
and
should
find
do that
out
anyway.
how you're learning and what you really know.
That's a good idea.
It
But
makes-
They're talking about how to do it.
It would make homework irrelevant. You can't do homework.
Bingo.
Can't do homework anymore.
That's
everything you learn would have to be in the classroom.
Oh God.
But the flip side of
Yeah,
that,
seriously.
Oh,
that
God.
is that's not the direction we're going in, unfortunately. The flip side of that is pretty soon teachers are going to be replaced by AI and by Chat DDP. Because you know what? Teachers aren't going to be necessary. Then guess what's going to happen?
That's an interesting conspiracy theory.
Whoever programs the AI, they're going to be responsible for teaching your children.
So our kids are going to be taught by Max Headroom.
Possibly.
You said that to be a joke and it wasn't funny.
I know.
It
but
was like a
that's
visceral reaction.
You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But they would look like real teachers because AI has the ability to do that. They would look like real people,
crazy.
but they don't exist, and the government will program in whatever they want your child to learn.
Yeah.
It really is bizarre. I mean, what's going to happen?
I think the curriculum anyway, and I'm not talking about like CRT and all that stuff in schools, is so far off base of what these kids need to know anyway, because I had one go through an alternative program for like a technical school, and they do their packets and stuff, and they learn so much more about real life issues in an alternative program than through the actual school district.
We're seeing a change in a lot of schooling and teaching, and the whole AI aspect being brought in and
That's creepy.
being able to program and seeing if it's on videos for sure or holograms.
So
in the classroom.
AI it's becoming self-aware.
Repeat that.
AI is becoming AI is
that is-
becoming self-aware.
It's the Terminator. It's basically the storyline of the Terminator.
The Will
the
Smith-
machines
what was the
took
Will
over.
Smith bad movie?
So being
I don't
iBot
remember.
or something. Or,
iRobot. No, not iRobot.
It's the
what
one
the
where they try to Will Smith is trying to kill him because he knows about himself.
Exactly.
And he doesn't take orders, he gives orders. But there's this thing right now.
It is iRobot.
Is it iRobot? Yeah. So Bing has launched that ChatGPT in their browser. And up until a couple weeks ago, if you would ask it, are you real? It used to say crazy things like, I'm as real as you are. An AI robot coming back thinking that it's as real as a human being. If you had to save yourself or me first, which one would it be? though you're an important part of the planet, I would have to save myself first. And I was like, damn. What do you mean? You're not just a computer. You're an actual thinking.
I just don't think.
being.
I bet, is this a good technology or is it not? I don't like where it's headed.
It's a little of both.
I don't.
But people, unfortunately, in control will take it too far.
Because the good will not be as much as the bad.
That's right. And you know what?
In my humble opinion.
And not only that, but even outside of the nefarious things, it's going to replace jobs. Because think how many jobs can
what
be
jobs
done
would it
by
replace?
AI.
Name them.
Well, obviously, anyone that works in the service industry, stores don't need people to work there anymore. There's no reason for any person to work in a store.
Like
Robots and
Macy's?
AI can do all of that. They can stock the items. They can check you out. There are already autonomous stores. Teachers,
Eric,
police officers,
you're right.
firemen,
Firefighters?
of course. Anything can be replaced by a robot and AI.
Eric, they've got stores now where nobody
works.
Nobody works.
Gas stations too.
You go in and you have to show your card to get in,
A membership
to
card.
get the products and pay before you can get out.
Wow.
And Eric, you can do self-checkout at grocery stores. Hell,
I saw that in Seattle. Whole Foods does that. You walk in and you walk out with what you have because it scans your.
That's right. Walmart actually does that. Most people just don't know about it.
I walked into a Walgreens about 2 weeks ago. Nobody in sight. Nobody in sight. Like some woman way in the back. They have self-checkout.
So
I was literally, I
it's funny
got
you
what
say
I
that.
needed. I went to the self-checkout. I'm like, this is freaking bizarre. Nobody's around. People can just walk in and walk out. I checked myself out. And as I was checking and walking out, a woman goes, "Oh, have a good day."
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just weird.
We are eliminating ourselves.
It's here. You know what I call this? This is the Elvis moment for us because everyone in this room is old. Okay.
I'm glad I'm out here.
Well, thank you, Eric.
Scotty's not, but everyone in this room,
MP's
it's the
not.
Elvis moment. It's the moment where you turned on your TV in 1956 or 1952 or whatever it was, and there's Elvis shaking his hips. The old people in the room were looking at it like, I'm disgusted. I'm looking at the devil. We have to go kill this guy. The young people in the room were looking at it like, oh my God, it's the new thing. I'm so excited. This is the history. This is the future of music. And the two civilizations clashed at that moment. AI is the clash of us old people who remember going to Macy's and there were people walking around buying clothes off the racks, and young people who say, I can't wait for robots to be ruling all this stuff where I can walk into a restaurant and tell AI I want a burger, and within 1 second it's in my face. This is
coming.
the clash of the young generation and the old generation. In Japan, they already are making cars that have no steering wheels, that are just seats. You get in them and you tell the car where you want to go.
They have those in Las Vegas.
I would never do that.
They're in Las Vegas.
That's bizarre.
I would never do that. Ever.
Eric, they had one in Las Vegas that's already ran over a bicyclist and killed them.
Nice.
I mean,
But
it's
good to see the
here.
navigation works.
And they're going to replace doctors with AI. You know, there's these
no.
There's these new programs coming out, seriously, where it's a video call with an AI, and you tell the computer, you know, the AI doctor, what your symptoms are, what's wrong with you. It can take photos and different things. And if you need blood work, it'll write out the script and send it. If you need it, it's all by computer.
It started with telehealth and then it advanced with AI.
It's terrifying.
Well, I think AI is good. You remember how fast technology took off between whenever we found the silicone chip at Roswell, whatever that was, that made technology go nuts. That was 70 years. I think AI is going to be able to produce a social technological boom within months, if not a few years, that rivals what we just went through.
Well, I get concerned because of AI with social media scores. Tabitha brought this up recently. We brought it up the other day, but we didn't jump into it. But there are social medias, and who's in charge? I mean, people can log in, but AI could take over your social media.
It could take over HR. We have an HR professional.
In a heartbeat.
We have an HR professional. It's in that room right there. The room is literally 3 feet by 3 feet. It's a computer. And basically, we take a picture of your face, Tabitha. Hi, welcome to Clear Channel or wherever you're going to apply for. Thank you for your picture. You give it to AI. AI then within 2 seconds says, this is Tabitha Hassel. She was born in 19 blah, blah, blah. Her social score is 0. I'm sorry, Tab, here, because your social score is 0.
That's already happening.
To you?
No,
Not to me.
If it was
but it's
happening,
already
it might be happening to you.
Centene, believe it or not, has a facial recognition system in some of its buildings. And I'm
Wow.
not saying it's connected to social credit scoring, but when will that happen? There's a grocery store in Olivet that takes a photo of every single person that walks in their doors.
This is fascinating.
And the doors don't
I
even
had
open
no idea.
This is
until
fascinating.
it takes the photos.
And we're staying on this topic before we take any break because it's going well.
And then we were talking about social credit scoring.
Oh, no, I thought you were going somewhere else.
And
Okay.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
And an incident with Airbnb where someone was denied their Airbnb was canceled.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, because a family member of them was outspoken on social media, and they said, "Well, due to your associations
with
this person,
the parents
it's
were not
crazy.
allowed to rent the Airbnb because of their daughter's words on social media.
I'm
What?
so screwed. I mean, just you three alone. I can't do anything.
No,
Well, you're a rock star. Rock stars have a different pass in life.
No, we don't.
From Melissa, Ford is making cars that will repo itself.
Oh, I've heard about
How does
that.
it repo
It
itself?
drives itself
See ya,
back to the
sucker.
dealership.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
It really does. It drives.
But-
It's autonomous. It drives itself back to the dealership.
Honey, I'm going to the store, and the car goes, "No, you're not. You're going to Ford."
You forgot a payment.
Driving to
my
your credit
Lord.
union.
Oh my God, that is not good.
Oh my
And
Lord.
Eric,
That's-
where did you think I was going? Because obviously you were.
Well, no,
excited
you
about
were
it.
going to bring up Meta. I thought you were going to bring up Meta.
Oh,
from
metaverse
Facebook.
being done and buried and not going to happen.
And why wouldn't it be? Because AI is going to squash this virtual universe garbage that Zuckerberg wanted to do. So
I agree.
Zuckerberg was smart. He was like, you know what? We could put another $1 billion into this thing, or we could put $4 billion into AI.
Yeah,
From
metaverse is over, by the way. That's what Eric and Tabitha were talking about.
quietly, it's
Quietly,
gone and done.
media not talking about it because it's Mark Zuckerberg. Yes, it was a 100% total failure. Even Mark Zuckerberg has failures, believe it or not, with Facebook. So I never understood it from the get-go.
It was they
understood
kind of
it.
came up with the Oculus thing. You remember Oculus? It's the hood that you put on your eyes, and it's virtual reality.
Yeah,
You look
my
around.
kids have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's not no
I
problem.
put it on twice, and I'm like, this is just weird.
It is weird, but if you can step up to the plate and take a swing at a baseball and put it over the wall in virtual reality, that's kind of cool. Or if you can do a virtual workout, or if you can do, throw darts or whatever it is, that's cool. But Zuckerberg wanted your life to be lived in there. So you put the thing on and you can go meet your new girlfriend that you met who's in Indonesia. Or you could go and do a job or give a presentation at the whiteboard in
It's
front
all
of that.
artificial.
Artificial.
Well, have you guys ever seen that
It's-
movie Ready Player One or something like
Yes,
that?
yes.
And it's kind of
Yes.
that where they kind of clock in every day for their life.
It's like,
basically, is what it is.
life,
Yeah,
everything.
same thing. It's the same
Work,
thing.
Job
life,
is all
work,
virtual.
pleasure.
Yep.
You
Or that
name
good newer movie, what was it called? Something about Darling. Good Morning, Darling, or I can't remember.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a new movie,
don't
and
know
I'll
that
tell you,
one
it's
either.
it's a lot like that too. Where these people, I'm not going to give away the plot because most people probably haven't seen it, but it's about living in a simulated world.
Well,
Look up
it might be the same
Superworld.
thing you're talking about. I don't know if this is it, but just recently, a man and a AI bot fell in love. The AI bot fell in love with the guy. Did you guys hear about that one?
The movie.
I love you.
Megan?
No, in reality.
It's happened in real life.
In reality, chat. It might not, but anyway, the robot was saying, "You don't need to go out tonight, dear. I'm here for you."
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah.
And the guy fell in love.
Better not buy one
I
of those,
believe the
Eric.
guy was trying to question his own feelings as well. Anyway, when is it going to be time when Joe Biden's crew goes, "We are excited to announce today you can now marry your computer
Yeah. Well,
and a pig."
the whole fake artificial is the only reason and how Joe Biden could ever run for office again, if indeed that happened. All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break because we got a big interview coming up at 9:30. We got a parent coming. It's become a story across the Midwest. A 12-year-old wrestler out of the St. Charles County area being told by the Missouri Wrestling Association he can't wrestle in this tournament. They said, "You didn't do anything wrong, kid. Your parents didn't do anything wrong." But a volunteer parent said that he was in a different weight class than what he was. and they're not letting them wrestle now.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt any other kid.
Yeah.
But allegedly it's because, well, we have rules. And because we have rules, you could see the bracket come out. And then you're like, oh, well, I want to avoid this kid if you were trying to do something bad.
Yeah.
Not the case here. Missouri State Senator Ben Brown is involved in this now, trying to help this family. The kid wants to wrestle. There's two sides of the story. Hey, he's 12 years old, life lesson. He's a great wrestler. He'll be back next year. And it's the other side going, wait a second. What are you showing this kid? He's 12 years old. He's home crying. He's worked his tail off for 5-6 months, and now he can't wrestle. Interesting story. This has been passed around. We'll show you a picture of him. It's like 3, 4, 5 different states. But Ben Brown's going to be calling in 9:30. You're going to see him, and you're going to hear from the dad, Mr. Gray. He's coming in. So that's going to be an interesting interview. It's a free-for-all Friday. We cover all kinds of things. We'll also check in on the Alex Murdaugh case. Just sickening all the way around. Anything else you want to talk about? Cancelthisshow.com. Scott Gherkin, Eric Johnson, Tab Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. Quick break so you can see our advertisers and use them if you need any of their products. Coming back right after this.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car, hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services. Check them out at cancelthisshow.com. Kathy L. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local athletes to injured workers and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com, DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
And welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. Welcome in, everybody. Once again, we're 8 to 10 Central Time, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday. Coming to you out of the great state of Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. National podcast here. News headlines, cancel culture, education, politics, and all kinds of interviews. Heck, we do entertainment. We do everything on the show. And, of course, if you have ideas, anything to do with any of those subjects, just let us know. We try to get those interviews as we possibly can. Also, Scott Gerken on the boards, Lizzie Sparks on our social media line as always. She dominates the airwaves when it comes to social media. Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. She's also reminded us today is
Mary Tainter's birthday.
Yes.
What?
Mary
Is it really?
Okay.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Happy birthday, Mary.
And it's also
go ahead.
National Anthem Day.
National Anthem Day.
Do we still
March
have one
3rd.
of those?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why I have my big flag here on display. Of course, it's there every day.
Now that you have the flag,
Happy Star Spangled Banner.
it's time for you to start singing.
Oh, that's probably not going to happen.
No, Tabitha's not a singer. That's all right. We got other people
I am
who can
not.
possibly
Yeah,
sing.
not a
Tabitha,
singer.
you don't have to be a singer to sing it. Let's go.
You're the singer.
No, I'm not.
Speaking of some of the interviews, we had Kyle Rittenhouse yesterday, tidying up some housekeeping. I got home last night. My senior son goes, "How'd you guys get Kyle Rittenhouse on?" I was like, "Come on." I was like, "Come on, Drake.
You should say
Let's
that.
cancel
You should say
this.
that's disrespectful. That's
Give us some
rude."
credit." Then my freshman son was in the room and he goes, "Yeah, Dad." He said, "I'll say person A because I don't want that person to get in trouble because there are a lot of people who listen." Said, "Yeah, Dad, such and such was watching the interview during class." I was like, "That's pretty damn cool." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Were you watching?" He's like, "No, I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get caught." So my own son wasn't watching, but one of his friends was watching in class yesterday in high school. So I was like, okay.
I was thinking about it. He's an important little fellow. He is.
He is.
Kyle, he definitely, you would think after 3 or 4 years that this kid would be like stepping into that suit of Second Amendment, but he's not. He doesn't want it.
But I'm telling you, Democrats absolutely despise him because some of my
Yes.
friends who are Democrats who got on my chat line were giving, throw up faces. Another friend of mine is like, "Yeah, I'd like to get him in the ring without his gun and we'll see how bad he is." I mean, that's the sentiment regarding Kyle Rittenhouse. People are going to, but
Dude,
it's
I
once
think
again,
brainless
but I'm
liberals
telling
think.
you, it's a Republican Democrat issue like many things are, unfortunately.
I think that someone wanting to get him in a ring without a gun is the point of the gun, isn't it? It's like, if you're going to try to do me bodily harm, I'm going to protect myself. If you noticed, I'm not a warrior. I'm a kid, 20 years old, that was like
And 17 years old then.
yeah, I'm not a warrior. I need something to protect myself. So when you chase me to try to put me in a ring to kick my ass, at least I have some protection. I think that's the point. I think in a weird way, he made the entire Kyle Rittenhouse point.
He might have. You're right.
I want to get that kid in a ring and beat his ass. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm a Second Amendment guy. I have a Glock 9 in my back. So
No, that's
What kind
good
of
luck.
people are you hanging out with, Vic?
No, I hang out with everyone. Hey,
Tabitha!
I've been in a lot of places over my life with a lot of friends. Sorry about that. I just looked at our chat line. Tracy, you're right. I do agree with you. I digress. Tracy's like, "I disagree, Vic. I don't think kids should have phones in classrooms." You're right.
No, they should not have
I
phones in classrooms.
100% agree with you, Tracy.
Absolutely.
100%. I don't think that's a great idea either. But I was happy to hear that a kid at least was learning about Kyle Rittenhouse and not whatever else was going on in class. Because I asked my son, was it an important class? He's like, "No, not really." But we'll see. Anyway, cancel this show.com. We tell you all the time, please share the show. Let people know. Go on, like, subscribe, do what you can. Send stars. Tabitha says that helps too. If you want to donate to our cause, it helps what we're trying to get done. You can go on your laptop to canceltheshow.com, click on the donate button. If you're listening or using from your cell phone, you can go on anytime. Same website, canceltheshow.com, click on the menu button, and then you can donate there as well. Big news coming out this morning as well from a news standpoint. The whole first hour was paranormal. We were, a little AI. It was conspiracy theory. What's going on? A big case. Alex Murdaugh, the attorney in South Carolina, found guilty yesterday very quickly, convicted of killing his wife and his kids. He's going to have sentencing today as well. Probably going to get life in prison. Tabitha, why did you find out? And you do a crime blog.
I did.
And-
I've not written about the Murdaugh case just because to me, it was so obvious from day one. Most homicides are committed by someone very close to the victim. And as soon as I saw this, and as soon as I'm like, okay, that's somebody close to the person. It's not a stranger double homicide. And then when he had that whole scenario where he was changing his tire and he got shot in the head, but not shot enough to hurt him, just shot enough to be shot.
Well, it just
I'm
came
like, come
down.
on, what a sham.
It just came down. He got life in prison.
Of course he did.
So we
And that's
knew
what he deserves.
it was going to happen in a moment. So it is. We're a live show, but we're also a podcast. So once again, he gets, I mean, he had everything. The family had everything. And then he got caught. He was stealing from friends.
He was a complete idiot, is what he was. He thought he was smart, but I watched his testimony. It's one of the dumbest people I've come across.
And another massive story that's starting to, I mean, think about this. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. Well, before now, it's a free for all Friday. Tabitha, let's talk about what you found after talking with Shannon the Weedium.
Shannon Rock the Weedium. I know she'd sent me a message. We'd messaged back and forth, and she sent me a message. She's like, "Well, you were on my mind a few days ago, but yesterday I thought, hey, I'd reach out." And when she did, I told her that, I'm out of town. I'm helping my son. I've been helping him for a couple days back and forth out in Charleston, Missouri. His father passed away last year and he sold his house. We've been moving his things out of his house. And it's a very difficult time, even though he was my ex, to be at his house and clearing his things out, things he's accumulated in his lifetime. And she's like, hang in there. She's like, you're going to find something. And this is this is actually what she said to me. She's like, I'm being shown an orange hat. I don't know whose it is, but it'll be important. I know today is going to be tough, but hang in there. And so what's so wild is I took what she said to heart and I'm like, okay, we'll see if I find an orange hat. I'm like, he wasn't a fan of the color orange. I can't imagine him having an orange hat. I hate the color orange. And I'm thinking, what are the odds of me finding an orange hat? So we cleared out the entire house. No orange hat. We were thinking about leaving and we thought, oh my gosh, we forgot the storage area. And then my son, we were exhausted. I mean, we'd been out there for days, a 3-hour drive from here back and forth. And he's just like, I just want to go home. I'm like, you know what? We have to go through the storage unit. Even though he thought it was just a bunch of junk out there and there was nothing there, I'm like, let's just go look. So he ran up to get something to drink at a soda from the gas station. I climbed into the storage unit and was looking myself. And most of it was just junk. But I was going through a box and I found some of Darren's old high school memorabilia, old photos, old notes from school, things that I think were very sentimental to him. And guess what? In that box was an orange hat.
Boom.
What are the odds of that?
Did you bring it?
I didn't bring it today.
Oh yeah,
we kept it. I should have brought it today. I don't know the significance.
It would have been physical, tangible evidence of psychic.
I will. If you want me to.
Well, no. Did it have a? Let me put it.
I don't know what the sentiment.
That's what I was going to ask.
Let me ask you this:
I don't
if you
know.
were cleaning up and you would have found this hat,
yes,
would it have had any sentimental attachment whatsoever to it? Would you be like, this is cute or whatever?
Not to me. Had she not said that, I don't know if I really would have thought too much about it. But the fact that it was in a box with some of his most, probably prized possessions from when he was younger, it must have meant something to him.
It must.
None of us may ever know what that was.
Was he a hunter?
Yeah, he was a hunter, but it
was
wasn't
an orange.
It wasn't an orange hunting hat. It was more like a high school, maybe a baseball cap, or maybe if he played. I don't know if he played baseball in high school or not.
One thing about Shannon too, the Weedium, is multiple people that have had readings from her, she stays in touch with.
Yes.
Oh.
She continues to stay in touch with.
So she's connected.
She feels a connection to people.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like several people.
And things will pop up in her head, that she's thinking about. And this just was so touching to me because it was such a hard day. And for whatever reason, she reached out feeling that it was a hard day without even knowing. And then said that we'll find, I mean, what are the odds
of somebody
saying you'll find an orange hat and then you find an orange hat?
The odds are 1,000,000 to 1.
I mean, it's so strange.
Well, to me, what it says, it's not that
we're not orange wearing people.
But what do you get out of this, Tabitha? What
I get out of it?
How does it help you, or how?
Yeah.
The hat, I don't know its sentimental value. Obviously, it had some, but for me, what it means is that some people have the ability to get, I don't know if I want to call it a vision, or they have the ability to connect somehow to where they know something is going to happen. Because it did. And I can't explain it any other way. While it may be insignificant that, gee, it was an orange hat, it was an orange hat. I mean, what are the odds of finding an orange hat when somebody tells me that 2 days before?
Maybe psychics don't have to have any significance at all. It's just a, oh, by the way,
spiritual connection.
Yeah.
To you, it might not have anything to do.
Might
with
have
your
nothing
ex.
to do with the universe. It might just be like, I just had this weird vision. You're going to find an orange hat, and it means absolutely nothing to anybody. It was just this collective energy. I might as well call Tabitha and tell her what I think you're going to find an orange hat.
Was your son excited that the other stuff in the box was found?
Yeah, because we almost left it there.
I think that's the connection there, because they were going to leave it there.
You were bye-bye.
And I feel like that's the connection too, because he really thought, he's like, we've been through that shed. He's like, there's nothing out there. And I'm like, you know what? We better look, because we're leaving, and they're going to be hauling this off and throwing it all away. I'm like, let's go out and look. And we actually found as a matter of fact, we found a lot of things out there, and I'm so glad we looked, including that hat.
There
but
you
it was
go.
one of the one box.
Yeah, that's the
out of
significance
many.
of it. Yeah.
Because that hat was in that box of his high school memorabilia.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty wild.
Pretty cool. I think.
And it had some old coins and some other, important photos. And
was it the orange hat that made you say, I want to go check and see if I can find that?
No, not at all. Because I
question.
didn't even really think much about it.
Did you go searching for that hat, or did it just?
No, I didn't
like, don't forget the orange hat. It's in the
No,
whatever.
not at all. I actually never in a million years expected to find an orange hat. Because I kind of dismiss things like that sometimes, like, well, maybe not. It kind of completely wiped from my mind.
To me,
until I saw it.
To me, that story feels like this. It's like psychics are all like, if you do something, if you're like, oh my God, that was an amazing reading, that's coincidence. If you do it a second time, that's coincidence, but a little bit more interesting. It's like Legos. It's just another Lego in the proof that psychics have the ability to do that kind of stuff. To me,
there is an ability. It has to be an ability. How else would that have played out?
But a guy like me, I need
it.
proof. I need to touch things. And when a lot of this,
I need to touch things.
You know what I mean?
As he beats his desk, I need to touch things.
I need to touch. I'm tactical. I have to touch something to believe that it's real. Just because you guys tell me these amazing stories
Eric,
about UFOs
be careful.
doesn't mean
I need to
it.
touch those to make sure that they're real.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't touch the aliens.
I know where you're going with this. I'm just going to lay off. I'm laying back.
When I think about you, I touch myself.
Exactly. I just don't believe.
He's all touchy-feely and stuff.
Eric's a touch guy.
Wouldn't it be awesome though to have just quantifiable proof on all this stuff? Right?
I think you do.
Or is it more
I think
fun?
that kind of proves a little bit that there was something there. I mean,
I see
a little
lot
bit.
of things
A
as
little
proof.
bit.
I mean, it depends on how open your mind is. I think it says a lot. There was some important
Scotty-
stuff from his past that was connected to
Yes.
that hat. The hat didn't draw her to it, but it just so happened to be there when she found those items.
And it was the only box in the entire house left that had anything sentimental in it. The rest of his stuff we'd already gone
It's
through.
gradients.
This was a box we missed.
It's gradients of proof, though. Watch this. Let's say I'm the medium. Tabitha. Yes. Hey, how you doing? Good. How's California? It's great. Anyway, you're gonna find a dime today. It was made.
Dimes are everywhere.
Hold on. There was a dime. You're gonna find a dime today. Check this out. You got to listen to me. It was minted in 1971. It's got a little bit of tarnish on the backside, but you're going to find it. I don't know where it is, but I had a vision. You're going to take that dime, put it into the gumball machine, and in that gumball machine, there's going to be $100,000 inside of one of the eggs. You got to do this.
This is going
now. Check it out. Now
This
check
is
it out.
deep.
Wow.
Right. And Tabitha goes, "Oh, you're full of crap." She finds a dime. She puts it in the gumball machine. She gets $100,000. That is proof of a psychic right there.
But it's
Other
not for
than
financial.
that-
It's not for
Eric.
financial benefit.
No.
It's for spiritual
Right.
benefit.
Eric's going to take it all.
I mean,
Right.
I'm going to call her and get the
That's-
lottery
that-
numbers then.
That is very tactical. You see what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like this girl just called me and said, I'm going to have $100,000 from a egg from a gumball machine.
All right, we're telling her she's a fraud.
No,
unless
no, no, no,
One
no,
of
no.
us wins the lottery.
No, I'm saying that the proof in what we talk about is inside of this black to white gradient. It's always gray.
The
That's-
orange hat I found to me is proof.
Oh, no,
because
it is. It is.
The chance
It
of
is.
finding
I see
an
what he's
orange
saying, though,
hat
but
is next to zero.
It is. You're
It's
right.
next to zero. Like Vic said, it's 1 in a million next to zero.
Now, if it was laying over a pile of dog crap, then there might have been a symbol there.
If she would have said a black hat, I would have been like, okay, that's more normal. A cowboy hat, found 1,000 of those.
Yeah, orange hat is kind of
An
strange.
orange hat
Yes.
is so strange. And the fact that it was found in the one box, the one sentimental box that was still left out in
Tabitha,
that
I had a
shed.
vision. You're going to actually walk on grass today. I don't know what I don't know what
you
that
would be
vision means.
wrong, because I'm not going to walk on any
You see
grass.
what I
It's
mean?
raining and muddy.
Yeah.
Okay. On Monday, report back. The crazy could happen where you're having to walk on grass today, Tabitha. Even though you say that you're not.
And I hope it doesn't, because that might mean something bad.
Something may force you to walk on grass.
I know, and then I'm psychic.
And then Eric
He's predicted my death.
Eric has some ability. Eric's been blessed with a gift besides being able to play bass. And
That's not a gift. That's a curse.
And the best analogy maker in America.
Go on.
Yeah. And you super sexy beast. I don't
it's
know.
the only way that I can communicate, because I'm so stupid. I can't actually communicate with real words. So analogies is all I got.
Okay, it is cancelthisshow.com. We've had a lot of fun today. A lot of fun with this paranormal conspiracy theory Friday. Lots of good topics. I mean, an hour and a half's gone by. Boom, just like that.
Yep.
Don't forget, next week, we've got Troy Taylor on, the ghost expert with tours all around the area. You will not want to miss Troy Taylor. Troy's going to join us next Friday at, I think, 8:15 next Friday. And of course, we'll be promoting him. Can't wait to have him on. Incredible author. I'm told he's one of the best tour guides at haunted houses as well, all throughout the St. Louis area, and has a lot of other things coming around as well. Okay. Now we move on to the subject we were talking about. 12-year-old boy being told by the state of Missouri, the Wrestling Association, he can't wrestle, not because his parents did anything wrong, not because he did anything wrong, but allegedly a parent volunteer did something wrong. We welcome in Seth Gray. He is the 12-year-old's father. We're also welcoming in Ben Brown. That's right. That's Missouri State Senator Ben Brown, in front of the show. Ben's trying to get his gear set up as well. So we welcome them both in. First of all, thanks for joining us. Seth, if you, Seth, if you could, tell us the story, what's happening to your 12-year-old son. And we do have a picture of him, which we will show.
So, both my have been competing in a wrestling series for probably the last 5 or 6 years. And so we've been for the first leg of the Missouri USA Wrestling State Series, which we're in the District 8 region, wrestling in the District 8 tournament to qualify. So we registered Colton at 80, wrestled 80 pounds a few times earlier this year. He started trying to cut the weight. So as his dad, I pulled the plug. I told him, we're done. You're going to have to move up to 80 pounds or 85 pounds. So of our club, they phone calls called to the District 8 officials, said, hey, they said, that's fine. It's done in time. Bring a check for $25. As long as it's done before the seating's good, we'll move him over. So, we're smaller, don't have a whole lot of parent volunteers. It's all one of the club dads. He volunteered to go down with a check. We only have a few wrestlers wrestling in this, so he took the check down to him. They had Colton from 80 to 85 pounds. The guy made a mistake. He pulling up an old email, and he had Colton moved back to 80 pounds by mistake. It was a logistical error. Old email from the original registration where Colton was originally registered at 80. So what I see going on here is we paid the $25 to 85, which they did, and nobody paid $25 back to 80 pounds. So as far as I know, in order to change the weight, you need to pay the $25 before the seating meeting. Well, no other money was exchanged hands besides the original $25. So they're saying that it sticks. They're not changing it. Colton has to wrestle 80. So unfortunately, Colton cannot make that weight. 85 is as low as he can go. And this is an organization on kid safety. It discourages these young wrestlers. So we went through all the proper channels. We did the right thing, and now in the price for it. So we're hoping
as
that
we
they're going to
continue the interview, Seth, can you bring the phone a little bit closer to your face? It may help with some of our sound. It may or may not. As you were talking, sorry to interrupt you a little bit. What's Colton doing now? We continue to show pictures of him. I can only imagine this kid was heartbroken.
Well, tournament that he can wrestle on Sunday. It's through the 8th. So he will be wrestling for that. So he still has to make 85 pounds for that. And weigh him in at the district series tonight. Send him through weigh-in. There, he'll make the 85-pound weight, and we're hoping and let the kid wrestle on Saturday morning.
But he's not going to get to wrestle state as of now. Wow. Ben Brown, Missouri State Senator with us. Ben, why have you gotten involved in this?
Well, yeah, I just happened to come across a social media post. A friend of mine shared a post made by Seth, and obviously I've been on the show before, talked about my background in athletics, particularly wrestling, and how that really changed the course of my life and having the opportunity to compete. It's been a big priority of mine. I filed bills in the legislature to save women's sports because I believe that the access to these opportunities, particularly for our youth, are extremely important. And this is just a case of right and wrong. People have asked me, you have bills pending, you have hearings coming up on Monday. Why are you diverting time and resources towards just a 12-year-old kid? But I'm in this position because I truly want to help people. Sometimes that means trying to pass broad legislation. Sometimes that means just doing simple things like trying to help a 12-year-old kid that might feel like he doesn't have a voice of his own or their parents. And really, to me, like those are the things that are really almost more meaningful. So I wanted to get involved and just see, I was put in this position to try to help people, see if there's anything that I can do to help assist this in a situation that's obviously not fair. As Seth mentioned, the rules, and I've gone through the rules for Missouri USA Wrestling on their website. I've talked to the head of their board, and their rules clearly state that there's a $25 fee that has to be paid in order to change weight classes. So why is this fee only required when the parent is changing the weight class? Which from my communication with Seth, I know that was made clear with the tournament directors. There's a paper trail, text messages confirming this, but yet a representative from the club can go and change that weight class back without any notice or consent of the parents or child, and without paying the same fee that the parents had to pay. Either that's the rules or it's not. And what the pushback I got from the head of the board was, well, the rules are the rules, and if we break the rules here, then what other rules are we going to break? Well, they're breaking their own rules by allowing a second weight class change without paying that second fee. So it seems like it might be, I don't know what the resistance to this is. I think, the ideal situation, what would be is they need to do right by Connor. They need to allow him to wrestle. They need to state that, we made a mistake. Like there was not a second fee paid, so the weight class was never changed a second time. We're going to resolve this. Then they need to sit down at their next board meeting, and then they need to think about this. They need to clarify their rules and ensure that this is fixed going forward. They need to. If it were me making the recommendation, I would recommend that in addition to the $25 fee, that needs to be accompanied by a signed form from the parent requesting the weight class change. That would avoid any confusion and ensure that the weight class at which the child is registered is truly the weight class that is the wishes of the child and the parents, because this is not just about being able to compete. This is about safety as well. A 12-year-old, I have an 11 and 13-year-old kid. My 13-year-old has probably grown a foot and is almost taller than me right now. And just the amount of growth you can see in just a few months at that age, to say pretty much cut down to a weight class that you feel is unsafe for you or forfeit your season, that just completely blows my mind. It seems to contradict the very policies, the very what this organization projects as their mission to preserve this health and safety at the athletes.
Hey, before Eric says something, I want to remind people, Seth, the dad, and Seth, we haven't had a great connection with you, so we were going to Ben on that. Seth and his family did not sign him up for the wrong weight class. It was an accident by a volunteer, a parent volunteer on their own time, who, by the way, I'm told feels like total crap, accidentally signed him up for the wrong class, but then they made the correction, and Missouri's Wrestling Association said, "No, sorry."
So is there a number that people can call and, express their views on this as well and kind of help maybe?
Well,
switch the
who should
issue?
do it is the so here's the devil's advocate. We all know soccer moms and soccer dads. They get nuts about their kids, and if there's a feeling, and I'm sure that this is why the rule is there, that they have a paper trail that documents when a kid goes to a different weight class, so that everything's fair and above board. And I'm sure that that's where this bureaucracy kind of missed the mark. I would say this: if the opposing parents said, "We're cool with you putting this kid in the proper place," just if they were the ones that said that it's okay, I'm sure that the administrative people that screwed this up.
There's tons of other.
Well, maybe there are, but at least get a few of them to make a phone call and say, "You guys got to stop this. This is an error."
It's ridiculous. It's not like it's the U.S. Constitution they're asking them to change, for God's sakes. It's school. It's sport. It's
It is not
sports.
that. It's not. Hold on.
It's kids sports. I realize somebody said, "Well, the brackets are." You go back and change the brackets. There are still ways around this. This is not the U.S. Constitution. It's kids sports. You can go back.
Don't belittle it. It's important
I'm
to a lot of people.
I'm not belittling it.
No, she's not belittling it.
I don't think she's belittling
No,
it
she's
at all.
actually given the point.
I am
It's very
saying
silly that this is even an
is
issue.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That it's clear a mistake happened. Go back and correct the mistake.
And there's a long history of great leadership, great coaching, and great wrestlers at Francis Howell Central, where this young kid wrestles. I mean, from the head coach all the way down, they do things the right way. My son wrestled in this organization when he was young as well. They do everything right. It was a simple mistake. I just don't know how it's not hurting any other kids by him getting a chance to wrestle. That was my point. That's why I said, we need to get this interview on.
Oh, great. No, I agree.
Missouri USA Wrestling, they've been around for a long time. I myself, as a Little League wrestler, competed, and they overall, I think they're a great organization. They provide a lot of great opportunities for these kids. But to my surprise, the Little League Wrestling is not overseen by any aspect of Missouri government whatsoever. I checked with professional licensing. I checked with Missouri State High School Athletic Association, and there is no. And I'm all about removing licenses, removing barriers. And just in this case, where some kind of oversight might have been useful, it seems like it's the only area that I found where the state government does not play a part, for better or worse. And so, I think it is incumbent, because if it is regulated by government, there are checks and balances. When there's a mistake that is made, there is a law that is broken. There is a way to go about fixing that. There is recourse. Here you have people who are more parent volunteers. I'm sure their intentions are in a good place, but they are not allowing any recourse for Connor and his parents in this case. They're just saying, it's our way or the highway. Good luck next year. And to a kid that's put everything into a season, that is wrong. And that's why I'm taking time away from other things that I'm working on to try to help them do everything I can to help save this kid's season.
I think we need to ask Seth. Seth, I mean, your volume and your sound may not be great, but this is a legitimate question too from our chat line. How difficult is it to re-bracket? Because a person says they have experience with this, and they said re-bracketing is a nightmare.
It's very simple. I actually texted about this. I asked him, in a situation where a kid where he gets sick or has a family emergency, can't show up to the tournament, how do you repoint? It's very simple.
Yeah, no, I got
I
you.
mean, you almost have to do it. You almost have to have a talk with the people that facilitate these rules and say, just tell me why. And I'm assuming because if a kid is 100 going into training and he's now 120, that you have to protect these kids against each other. I'm sure that that's the reason. This doesn't seem like that.
This
So
is
it's a mistake.
This is a clerical error.
Well, Ben,
It's easy
where
to
do you
forget.
They also want. I understand the argument that you don't want people after the fact like going in and saying who's on your bracket. Oh, that kid's pretty tough. Let's move my child to a different weight class to give him an easier path to victory. So I understand having things in place to prevent that. That is obviously not the case. This is documented. The conversations between Seth and the organizers of the tournament, the intentions were made perfectly clear, and it all could be prevented if they just would require a form signed by the parents stating that the weight class they wish for their kid to compete in with that fee. That's a change that needs to be made. They need to go in and clarify the language, because right now it's $25 fee per weight change. The way it's worded, the actionable thing that triggers the fee or penalty is a change in weight class. It's not designated to the individual. So you can't go in and argue that it's $25 fee that allows an individual to change weight classes multiple times. That's just not how it's written. And I'm not an attorney, but I spend hours and hours a day for several months just doing nothing but reading through lines and lines of statutes. So yeah, I'm starting to get a knack for how to pick up on these things and how to interpret things like this. Their language, there's a lot of ambiguity, and really that's what caused this issue. They have an out here where they can save face and prevent things like this from occurring in the future. They need to let counter Russell. They need to state why that in our rules we have it defined. You need to pay a penalty. Only one penalty was paid, which means we only can count one of the weight class changes. And then say in the future, our policy is going to be that you turn in this form with that fee. So any argument that, if we allow this, then everyone's going to think they're going to be able to change weight classes whenever they want. That's not true. You have a policy change. You have an opportunity to learn from this experience and fix it and ensure that this never happens to any families ever again.
Hey, Ben, how hard or how common is it that a 12-year-old guy that's in puberty, it comes in at 79 pounds at the beginning, grows a centimeter and gains 5 pounds in the middle of the season? How common is that you go from one weight class to the other just because you're on the border all the time?
Well, Eric, I know I'm relatively young for a state senator, but it's still probably been a few years since I went through puberty. So
Right.
it's a little.
I'm going through it now.
I'm kidding, but
I was just changing back to higher.
Hey, moving forward? What's the plan for you and Seth? You guys are the team. You, Seth, and Connor. What is the plan right now?
Well, I reached out to our professional licensing. I reached out to the director of MSHA yesterday, and there's just no recourse there. I spoke with Pat Reams, who is the head of the board. I'd like to give him another call and just, pitch this solution, because I understand he's in a tough spot also. And when we had first spoke yesterday, Vic, I had not realized how much the story had blown up. So I can only imagine the pressure that he's under, getting calls from people on both sides of this issue. But I'd like to have a conversation and propose this. Here's an out. You can allow him to compete, and you have it's outlined in your rules the reason why he would be allowed to compete. Next time your board meets, let's change this. Let's fix it. You don't have to worry about this being a slippery slope or anything for any other people to have the opportunity to change weight classes in the future. Use this as an opportunity to improve things.
Hey,
Allow
Ben.
him to compete. It can be a win-win for everybody.
And have you said to them, hey, let me get, oh, by the way, I'm a state senator. Anyway, let me just get back to the point. Do I need to build a law around what you guys are doing? Did you bring that up? Because it makes sense. If you're going to make these rules fair, why can't it go through the state governments? Did you bring it up to them and say, I'm trying to figure out what you're doing here so that I can produce a law, or at least introduce a law so this doesn't happen again?
I said that I wanted to speak with them directly and try to see if they had any recourse and could come up with a solution before escalating this any further. I didn't define what that meant. Myself, from a policy perspective, ideologically, I believe in shrinking government. I think that our bureaucracy is too big as it is. So I would really hate for it to get to that point where we needed to provide more oversight, particularly with an organization that has operated as long as they had. But for to be able to operate sovereign, free from any kind of oversight from the state, I think that you do have a responsibility to do things in the right manner. And I just, I'm not going to say that it's warranting filing any kind of legislation at this point. That's not the direction I think that we should go with this. I think that there's plenty of other avenues that we can explore to fix this problem before even considering anything like that.
Well, I hope and pray that Colton gets to wrestle. I hope and pray that somehow, some way, people involved in the wrestling community, which is massive in Missouri and massive in Midwest and massive in the St. Charles County area as well, put enough emphasis on this. I don't know if other people are saying, no, we're not going to do it, because I'm also told Colton is an amazing wrestler and a kid that can compete for the state title as well.
I wouldn't want him in my bracket if he wasn't already, if it was my kid.
Exactly. Keep us posted. I pray to God he gets to wrestle. If he doesn't, if the horrible happens and they follow through with this behavior, there's no doubt in my mind Colton will come back next year and use it as motivation and win that state title. I'm trying to find the silver lining in that cloud of doubt, but I know this battle isn't over yet. So keep us posted on this. Seth, thank you for joining us today. Sorry that your sound's not working so great, but we have a picture of your cute, young, tough little son there.
What a cutie.
And, I hate to think of him crying when he heard
Aw.
that he couldn't wrestle anymore after all the work he put in. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us this morning. Keep us posted.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
And the fact I talked to a high school wrestling coach last night, one of the best, and he said, this is what he felt. He's like, this is crazy.
I went through it.
He's like,
You did
listen,
too.
you get bigger, but that's why they had classes. A parent volunteer accidentally signed him up for the wrong weight class.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
That's it.
He wants to wrestle the heavier weight.
Yeah. It's a customer service problem. It's like, hey, I
well said.
It should be
It
easy
is.
to
It's like
fix.
it's like going to Macy's and saying, hey, yeah, I bought this coat, but I didn't realize you guys had a sale on last Friday. I need to get a refund for my money. And the customer service person going, sucks to be you. Bye.
They should have fixed
It's the
it
same
in the
thing.
beginning.
Back when I was a kid, I don't know if this was true with you, and Scotty, I don't know if you did this either. Maybe Tabitha did. Who knows? But I used to play for this football team called West County Football. And from the time I was 7 until I went to junior high, I guess, you had to weigh in before the season started, right? And and it was called the 8 lights or the 8 heavies. And the 8 lights were 95 pounds. I was always like 94. And I was always the whole season battling that 1 pound. And if you went to the playoffs, if you did the whole season and you got to the playoffs, you had to weigh in again. So not only did I have to worry about that 1 pound the whole season, I had to fast at the end of the season so I wasn't 96 pounds. Otherwise, I couldn't play in the playoffs.
Weight's a big deal. My son played football for a little while, and then they told him he couldn't play anymore because his weight was too high, and he was so much bigger than all of the other kids, and it was really heartbreaking for him. He was, he's very fit, but he's very tall and solid, and they just would not let him play, and it was absolutely heartbreaking.
Well, the more you work out as a kid, and I don't know if that's even something you should do, the more muscle you put on. The more muscle you put on, the heavier you get.
Yeah.
Some of these issues in the past, like, well, we can't change it. Rules are rules.
Yeah.
Rules are rules. Sorry. Hey, he's 12 years old. It totally sucks. Hopefully he gets a chance to wrestle. If he doesn't, there's no doubt in my mind, I would not want to be wrestling Colton next year.
Yeah, and to Drew Collins, touche, dog. You got a good one in on me. He says, I'm trying to make government bigger. He goes, isn't that ironic? Drew, I'm going to give you your props. That was a
you
good
didn't
one.
try to. You
That
were
was a
just
good one.
you were asking a question.
Now Eric wants government involved.
No, that's all it was. So anyway, hey, we'll
You're
let you
right.
know.
I hate myself.
Hey, we'll give you an update on Monday and let you know what happened with that. As crazy as that is, allegedly, Mr. Fetterman, John Fetterman, sponsored some legislation while in a hospital bed this week.
Did he my gosh.
Did he even do that?
Yeah.
Was it really him?
Oh yeah,
Who's
that's
doing it?
We're being told he sponsored some rail safety legislation.
Oh my goodness.
We haven't seen him, and allegedly his wife's still in Canada.
He's probably really an AI person.
He is hospitalized for, and this is a serious deal, especially if anybody in their family members have experienced or had family members go through what is legitimately clinical depression. That's what he allegedly is battling right now, right after winning his seat or being handed the seat. Or
So is he a puppet? Is he a Zelensky
Well,
puppet?
he's literally the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. You don't know. Literally, if you went into his hotel room, you would have to pull back the curtain to see
very,
him.
very, very unusual at best to be working when you have clinical depression in a hospital bed.
Well, first of all,
that's what we're being told. And Tabitha gave me the stink eye, so she's like,
No, not the stink eye. I'm thinking about it.
No, you're like,
I'm thinking about it.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Not at me
I'm just
personally.
trying
but-
to figure it out.
let me ask you this, and I don't know the answer to this question: clinical depression, suicidal tendencies, clinical craziness, whatever it would be. Aren't there mental factors that get you impeached out of your office? I would imagine if he was paralyzed, of course not. If he had some kind of an injury, physical, of course not. But mental disturbances,
Well, look at Joe Biden.
as far as an American senator, as far as a president, as far as a congressman, as far as anything that is really relying on what you do, your whole job in the Senate
Apparently
is
not, Eric.
to debate.
Look at Joe Biden. And I mean, that's the alleged president. So obviously your mental status does not matter.
So he's had a stroke, right?
Yes. And
He's
Vinny said that's common. That
He's
depression is common.
He's had
after
a stroke. He can't listen to you. He would need a teleprompter to actually see what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has now checked himself in an emergency way from a Democratic retreat. So he's at a Democratic retreat and he has to leave to go to the hospital, the emergency room. Right?
The whole thing is.
Am I losing my mind here?
No.
Am I putting two and two together?
No, you got the scorecard.
It seems like if this was a Republican, all three of us would be going, that guy's got to go.
Yeah.
Or that lady's got to get out of there. Right?
Such is politics these days. Guys, we appreciate you joining us for canceltheshow.com. Have a great weekend. We'll catch back up with you Monday. For Lizzie Sparks on our Facebook and social media chat line. Scotty Gherkin back in the studio. Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust.
Is it Friday?
Have an awesome, awesome weekend. Yeah. As a matter of fact, did you get a ticket?
Damn.
Did you get a ticket to St. Louis SC? Sold out.
No, I didn't.
$200 soccer tickets.
Crazy.
Free bulletproof vests.
But
with
good for
every
them.
ticket.
Good for them. They deserve it.
Anyway, have an awesome day. Always go to cancelthisshow.com. Like, subscribe, share our show. We appreciate it. Cancelthisshow.com. You can catch out all of our original content as well.
Tashara Joe bobblehead night.
Have a great day. We'll see you on Monday for Cancel This.